Welcome to tacosandgeeks.com. Justin and Sean here, and we are going to be reviewing episode 1 of She-Hulk, Attorney at Law. Tuck, how you doing?
I'm doing good. Like it's a good day to do this review.
Yeah, actually, look, I just want to kick this off right off the bat. I enjoyed this episode, folks. We're going to go into a little
Very
bit more
much.
detail.
Yeah.
I think it really captured the spirit of the comic books, and I'm going to address some of the naysayers of the series and certain concerns. But I want to pass the ball to Tuck first. What were your thoughts on in regards to the story first of episode 1? Then we'll talk about a little bit of the CGI that everybody was complaining about, and then we'll take it from there.
All right. Well, the story was pretty well written. I think to a point you brought up earlier, well off camera, that this is a limited series. So you can't go into too much development. I mean, I think originally in the story it wasn't just that, without giving anything spoiler, how Jennifer got his blood and became a Hulk was a different story, but it was the same thing. Basically, Bruce's blood gets in his cousin, and that's how she becomes a Hulk. Um, they could have gone deeper into it or made it more elaborate, but the problem is limited series. You've got what, 6 episodes, 6 or 8 episodes.
Yeah.
I think it's six. I could be wrong. It could be eight. Let's say it's 6 episodes. You don't want to spend two of those episodes going over how she got, if with the radiated blood. You want to kind of like push the story on. So I think in the first episode, where they did that little quick, probably about 20 minutes of the episode, that montage of what happened, how she got there. I think it was very cute how they started it, with her friend knowing that she's She-Hulk. They're probably going to elaborate with that in the next episode. And then she turns and looks at the camera, kind of like Deadpool, breaks the fourth wall, and looks at everybody and says, "Well, this is what happened." And I think it was a really good. I think the entire training sequence was good. I know we had a difference of how it was done, but when you get into that, I'll explain why I think it was done perfectly. I'm not going to say perfectly. I'll say what it was, how it was done well and better than I expected them to do it. I think the episode ended very well, and it was way better than what I expected. Um, so I know there's a lot of people who had criticism of the show way before it even came out. It wasn't even we hadn't seen one of the episodes. We just saw the previews and people were already complaining. And I think one of the things as comic book fans we have to stop doing is two things. Stop expecting the shows to be almost word for word or exactly like the comic book. The Walking Dead explain why they walked away from that, because what excitement would you get if you already know what's going to happen?
Exactly.
Two, I know Marvel has done a great job over the last 10 years, but we have to give them a little leeway and stop expecting like the big productions. This is on a streaming service, which, although we pay for, is not still bringing the amount of money that a blockbuster movie would bring. So expect a little rough ends, expect the story not to be great. Remember, they're trying out writers, they're giving somebody a chance to do their vision. Also remember, I'm not DC, Disney has not gotten their rated R division up as fast. It's just only a couple of months since they've said, hey, you have to, on your Disney Plus, you have to click the OK to allow rated R content onto your streaming. If you didn't and you kept it like let's say you have kids, you want to keep it all PG-13 and PG, you just decline it. So remember, this is kind of like a test. How does the rated R system work? How, you'll probably get dark. I know we're all expecting. I know they did say not Secret War, Secret Invasion is going to be a darker series, a darker, more rated R series, just like the Punisher and how Falcon and Winter Soldier was really dark. But even Falcon and Winter Soldier was pretty tame with everything they did, because they couldn't go that far with blood. So let's cut Marvel a little bit of slack and just try to watch the stuff and enjoy it. And also remember, like, we're adults. A lot of this stuff is geared towards kids. They want the widest audience possible to watch it. And you can't have a kid watching like bloody massacres like every other week. You just got to say, okay, I'm going to go in here with the mindset of this is going to like everything until they say different is going to be a PG-13 experience. And let me go just try to have fun with it watching a PG-13 experience. I'll leave that on you.
Well, for me, I thought the story was great. I do feel that, and I think we said this before, but I think the what hurts the shows is the fact that it's such a limited story and limited episodes of six or eight,
Mhm.
and sometimes they're only running in half an hour. This episode, I really did enjoy, but at just times I felt that they were just like, okay, we gotta get to this point, we gotta get to this point, we gotta get to this point. You didn't really get a chance to really have certain scenes breathe, such as when she got the gamma exposure, Bruce's blood. You did get to see her reaction, but then it was just like, okay, she's like, okay, oh wow, okay, I'm a Hulk. I guess I gotta deal with that shit. And then boom, fast forward training montage, and then boom, but wait, we gotta introduce this thing. Fast forward to that, and it was just like boom, okay, we only got 6 episodes, guys. Wrap it up, go, 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 go.
I don't think in an episode she really was like, I got to deal with this shit. They did go kind of quick from she's the Hulk. It happened right to Bruce has her and is now going to talk to her about it.
Yeah, so I was just like, I would have liked to see a little bit more development there, just so as an audience member, we get to see her reaction. She kind of just came just like, oh shit, I'm a Hulk. Okay, I mean, there is this one scene where she was just telling him to fix it, but that's the only real reaction we got. Otherwise, it was just like, okay, I'm just gonna deal with the shit. Training montage. Let's start the training. And I kind of felt as also is because of the fact that it is a shorter runtime. I think this one was only 37 minutes
Yeah.
compared to the other premieres who were like close to an hour.
Yeah.
It just seems like she catches on everything just so quick. Like she knows how to fight. She already got certain Hulk like abilities or Hulk like, that's your little spoiler, folks. That she just automatically gravitates to just watching Bruce. And
Well,
they do explain why she gravitates to it. I'm not gonna say, oh
spoil
my
that
god, then
part,
he's not
yeah.
Mary Sue. He's not a Mary Sue, folks. But they did explain why she gravitated so quickly to the powers and everything else. But at the same time, it kind of felt like they were rushing to get to the ending to get to the point. Okay, we got to show her training, and we only got Mark Ruffalo probably only for this episode. So let's show him, show the training montage, show how she got her powers. All right, and then let's get to the ending, and now we can actually start the show of her being attorney at law.
I mean, but wasn't it kind of like the explanation was still good.
Yeah, it was.
I don't want to spoil that for anybody who hasn't watched it because I know when I was at work today, there's a few of my coworkers who didn't watch it and were just like, "Oh, I'm watching something. I'm going to eventually get to it." The explanation, and I think it was a clever explanation about why she was catching on fast. I still think it was rushed, but it was a clever explanation as to why. Um, it kind of irritates Bruce because it's true. Her explanation is true. And he kind of starts to feel a little inferior because of her explanation. So that worked, but if this was a 10 episode series, we could have gone more into like maybe an episode and a half of the train and get deeper into the emotion of what it is.
Or maybe even just an hour. If they added another 10 minutes,
Yeah, probably.
Helped out the fleshing out of the training montage, a little bit more of the exploration of her and Bruce's bruised ego. But don't get me wrong, folks. Like I said, I did enjoy the episode. It's really great. I love the humor here. I love the Captain America constantly. Yeah, she's obsessed with Cap.
That I will say this, people. They address a few things.
Yeah.
Everybody's obsession with Captain America's backside.
Yes.
And this is going to be the only one of, I think this will be the only spoiler I'll give. They did promise last year, like I think right after Endgame, of the Hulk's arm being healed. And they addressed that in this series, his arm healing. and it was a great explanation. It was quick. It wasn't like this whole time. It was very quick, and I was happy with it. I know some people are like, oh, this bullshit, blah, blah. It was I was happy with the explanation.
And this is also a minor spoiler. They finally did address those who are constantly questioning. Like they've been questioning this since his Cap's first movie. They did address Cap's virginity status. So you gotta stay for the end credits for that one.
That was the funniest part of the series. I think the fact that people kept talking about it. I never talked about it, but the fact that people kept addressing it, that was hilarious.
Yeah. Well, there's a whole thread, there's a whole legion of MCU fans that are constantly debating if Peggy was Cap's first time, and you finally get your answer for that, folks. So just stay to the ending credits for that. But overall, I did enjoy it. What I think I really like most is the fact that it does capture the spirit of comic books. Because if you read the She-Hulk comic books, then you know she does break the fourth wall. She does narrate. She
Yeah.
is a more lighter tone comic book and lighter tone character than the Hulk. So for people who are going, oh my God, it's just the Marvel formula for jokes, this, or this is getting like this kind of, I'm getting like this Birdman Ace Attorney type of vibe. Yeah, that's how it is in the books. That's how she really is. You did get to see one of her biggest villains do a quick cameo, um, which I'm hoping there'll be more of. I thought that was pretty cool. But like I said, I think it was a good episode, but for me, it was just it felt a bit rushed at times. I think an extra 10 to 20 minutes. If this went 60 at least, like
And
Moon Knight and went
27,
like
22
with the
minutes.
others, yeah, I think it would have fleshed out a little bit more. And the CGI wasn't bad, folks. The CGI I thought was good. Then again, I'm not picky with CGI.
Yeah. Well, I will say this. Somebody that Nadia introduced us to, Fantastic Frankie, brought up an excellent point about why the CGI for her might not be as fleshed out as the CGI for the Hulk. It's because they've had years of fleshing that CGI out, and they're just using the renders from the movies to into this series. Whereas this is a new one. This is a new Hulk. This is a new, and it wasn't. And remember, this Hulk, She-Hulk, wasn't made for the movies yet. She-Hulk was made for the series. So there's some things you can get away with the CGI. It may not look as crisp and it may not look as detailed, and you can do that when it comes to TV. I mean, think about the Flash on the CW. There were a lot of weird renders with the CGI on that, but it didn't take away from the story. It's just that if you're really nitpicking about that, yeah, you notice it. But if you're just enjoying the show for what it is, you're not gonna like delve into that. You may delve into that like late. If the show is trash, they're probably gonna. If the rest of the episodes are trash, people are probably gonna delve into that, and that's gonna be like one of their gripes. But if this show ends up being like the next 5 episodes of gold, nobody's gonna care.
Yeah, and like I always say in regards to the CGI, especially I say this always to the 80s, 70s, and early 90s babies. You grew up in an era of 8 bits. You grew up in an era where there was really everything was practical effects. We are the last generations that should be crying about some fucking CGI.
Yeah, it's true.
I mean, we are the last people to go, oh my God, guys, we grew up in 8-bit eras. We grew up where there was polygons, like you could barely see anything. Like this is gorgeous. Like I would have loved to see shows that looked this good back in the 90s.
True.
So overall, I'm gonna say this is a thumbs up. Story was great. Acting, oh, I just gotta say the acting. Great acting. She nails Jennifer. I think she did an excellent job. I think she brought humor. I thought she was very charismatic. Little bit of the emotional scenes that were there, I think she captured it well, especially the scene where she was getting catcalled. I thought that was good. But overall, I'll say the acting was good. Music was good as well. I like the cinematography. So I'm gonna say this is give this a watch. Don't add this to the queue. Watch it immediately. Give it a shot.
I'm gonna say that I'm gonna, agree with your statement that this was a good watch. First episode. So let's just be honest, people. This is the first episode and it was pretty good. So it leaves me excited about watching the next episodes coming up. They've got a little leeway for the second episode if it isn't great because the first episode was good. I will say Marvel is really stepping into the old school hip hop scene with,
Oh,
with a lot of their shows. And I mean, it is not that they're just stepping into it, they're stepping into like some really good tracks, like coming into that. Like I gotta take a step back. There was a point where like when She-Hulk ended, I was sitting there bobbing, and I'm on the train watching this. And I'm bobbing my head to the end credits, like I'm like, yo,
Who's that girl? I was like, I haven't heard that in
yeah.
years. And I was like, okay.
And I was kind of like, all right, like Mark, I've got to give whoever is what do you call it, casting and producing the soundtrack or coming up with the music, yo, A1 on that, bro. Cause you are like pulling even the same thing with Ms. Marvel, like they are pulling out some bangers like for the end credits. And I'm like, yo, like what,
Marvel and hip hop. I mean, they used to do the annual hip hop covers where they used to interpret hip hop album covers with Marvel characters for like their variant covers. So this goes hand in hand.
Yeah. So I'm gonna give it a thumbs up. First episode. Some people may not feel that way. I think it's a good episode. And also let's think of it this way. If these episodes do well at 6, they have said, just like with the announcement with Daredevil is going to be 18 episodes. And I think we saw in the preview of She-Hulk, Daredevil pops up in She-Hulk. So if Daredevil is getting 18 episodes, let's just rest assured that She-Hulk gets a season 2, Falcon and Winter Soldier is getting season 2. Maybe these shows start going from 6 to being like 10 or 12 episodes. And let's also think of the time constraints. 18 episodes, if they're doing it once a week, starts to run in and overlap movies. So I think they're trying to keep the shows in tune with the movies. Because remember, this is the cinematic, they all are part of the cinematic universe. So, and they do reference stuff from the shows. So let's give it a chance to see what happens.
Yep. All right, folks. So that is a wrap. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. If you're watching this on YouTube, hit that notification bell. Of course, importantly, visit otakusandgeeks.com. We have more great content on the way, so check out our new UWL Saturday Night Slam. We do our WWE Universe mode every Saturday, 7 p.m. Eastern and 4 p.m. Pacific. So definitely check out that. We got our podcast show is returning next month, September. So be on the lookout for that. We got a lot of great episodes. We're going to actually start having guests soon too. So be on the lookout. And that's it. So visit otakusandgeeks.com and later days.
Later.